Hi, good morning, everyone. Today I have prepared a very light-hearted sharing. It's totally non-technical, all right, but it is quite fun. So, for those who do not know Lionsbot, we are a young startup. We are like 4.5 years old, and all we make are professional cleaning robots. So they are quite big size. They're not your little Roombas. They're quite big size, and okay, so this is our little adventure, and I'd like to share with you an upcoming product so you get a feel of what we do. Okay, so this is our ninth product that we have introduced, and it's upcoming. Okay, now, so all the way from the start was in February 2018. There was my wife and I. All right, we have another company called Supersteam Asia Pacific that was distributing professional cleaning equipment. So we distribute all this equipment. There was a trend of cleaning robots in the industry. We tried a few brands, but at that time, we couldn't find anything that was so suitable. They were either too big, too expensive, or too difficult to use. So we made a strategic decision. Let's make our own robots. The only problem is we had no idea how to, all right? As luck would have it, within a week, the phone rang. And on the other side of the line was Professor Mohan's teammate who called us, hey, we bought your cleaning machine, we made it semi-robotic, are you interested to see? I said, oh, sure. So we met up, we had common needs. Michelle and I wanted to make professional cleaning robots, and Professor Mohan had 1,000 people that he had trained and mentored, great engineers that were interested in making robots. So we came together and founded Lionsbot. Now, when we first started, we were thinking, what robot, what should we do, okay? And we had no easy answers. So we came out with, okay, let's make something that looks cool. All right, now, you know, eyes are the windows to the soul. So I'd like a quick show of hands. All right, let's talk about if a robot is angry at you, okay? Who would say A is angry? Any show of hands? No? Oh, no. How about B? Is B angry? No. How about D? Is it angry? How about C? Yeah, correct. So we wanted to make funky robots that are fun, all right, and that could relate to people, because cleaning is a very public activity, all right? And now, one funny story is this. Because we didn't know how to make robots then, I mean, we had a bunch of very dedicated engineers, small team. So I was telling them that, hey, all right, other companies would design around the engineering. Let's do it in a different way. Let's engineer around our design. Famous last words. I'll explain more later, all right? Now, so we worked really, really hard from July, okay? By October, we started getting emails from our engineers' parents, because these are all fresh grads, all right? So we started getting emails because they weren't going home. Everybody was getting a sleeping bag, they were sleeping overnight. They don't go home, they don't change their clothes. And because they sign NDAs, when the parents ask them, what are you doing? They can't say. So a lot of concerned parents, not just one, okay, quite a number of concerned parents were thinking their children join a cult. So we had to have a soft launch. We had to have something, all right? We can't tell the world what we were doing. So we in October, the 31st, if I remember correctly, okay, we had a soft launch and it was great. So we created the robots. Everything was 3D printed. With 3D printing, you do magic, okay? All right, the only thing is we didn't have cleaning mechanisms inside, but you could move, all right? So we had a soft launch to tell the world, okay, all right, we are doing something. One thing that happened was after a soft launch, customers started coming to us and saying, I want to buy your robot. Well, we can't sell. It doesn't clean yet. There's nothing inside. It's moving, yes, but it doesn't clean. So from October to July, we had to make the cleaning mechanisms work. Now, this is where the famous last words are. You see this small area? We designed the whole thing, but guess what? Floor cleaning touches the floor. So the only surface area to touch the floor is this little black box. All right? And that little black box is not very big. So we had to design and squeeze and innovate and invent how to fit cleaning mechanisms inside there. We managed to do it, okay, at great pain. So on July 2019, we went live, okay, we had a go live event. And if you look at it from August, we started, until July, that was about 1 year, all right? It took to develop version 1 of LeoBots, and we went to market. Now, this, from July after we launched, in August, we started our factory. Now, you see the little logo there, Valley of Death? This is when reality bites. Because we could have gone in and do engineering forever, and the funding can last a long, long time. But once we went into production, the story changed. Okay, and in order to meet the minimum order quantities of any of the suppliers, we had to order 100 sets of robots. 100 sets. Okay, now, sometimes innocence and naivety is great because we were so innocent, we didn't realize that version 1 is not necessarily your final version. And you're going to change to version 2 and version 3. We went ahead to order 100 sets for version 1, okay, and this is the start of the Valley of Death, okay, where the pain bites. Because we went into production and yeah, you know, it's great. That year we sold 20 robots. Remember, we had 100. Okay, so there's 80 more sitting in the inventory, waiting patiently to be built. All right? And by 2020, we realized something, that the robots that we made in version 1, well, they were okay. It took us 1 week to make 2 robots. Come on, it's our first attempt, right? But it's not enough to even get in any volume orders or to do much. So we redesigned to version 2 and we redesigned to version 3. So by 2020, we had version 3. And you see, the team has grown considerably. All right, a lot more people were needed now. And we had our first container that was shipped out to Sweden. With version 3, one day we can build 2 robots. So things got a bit more interesting. As for what happened to the 80 robots inventory? Well, it's still sitting there somewhere. Okay, now, but in 2020, we were very lucky we won the Interclean Award. This is, in our cleaning industry, was like the Oscars of the cleaning industry. So we were very lucky to have won this, and we had our first distributor training. So things were looking up, and it's good. All right, so by the end of 2020, we crossed 130 robots. So at least we were starting to breathe, okay? Still not out of the Valley of Death. So if you see a Valley of Death, right, we are not exactly at the bottom, but we are somewhere there. But still somewhere in that valley, okay? Not out of danger zone. Now, then there was a lot of feedback that came in. The LeoBots were cute, but they're not going to clean a big airport, all right? They're not going to clean a huge warehouse. They wanted something big, something strong, and we wanted to target America. That's why we came up with the Rex, all right? This awesome, fearsome-looking robot is the meanest, greenest, fastest, most powerful cleaning robot of that size you can find on the planet now. All right, we outspec everybody else. We took everybody's spec and we just out on everything. And there's not a single flat panel on this robot. Everything is a curve. All right, so we just jumped in and we realized that, hey, come on, LeoBots are good, but if you need to build more, okay, we need something else. So in January of 2021, 21, we started working on the racks. By October, we launched it. All right, so it was 10 months for design to production, first article of production line. All right, and that's the racks. So by the end of 2021, 450 robots. Mostly were the Leo bots, the cute one with the face, and there were 20 Rexes in this because it's towards the end of the year. And by then, another lesson we learned was every robot had a peak life sales cycle. So maybe the peak of Leo bots were then in 2021. Thank God we have a Rex and we got more things to come. Not things would have gone down, all right? And the team just gets bigger. Our team of engineers just get bigger and bigger and bigger. I mean, like, just documentation alone, now we have 4 full-timers, all right? Certifications, another team, and everything is one team after another. Okay, then in 2022, we decided, all right, let's launch the R3, let's make it happen. So what happened was in 2021, in June, there was a tender issued by the Ministry of Education in Singapore calling for cleaning contractors to tender for the public schools, meaning primary schools and secondary schools in Singapore. And they wanted every school to have minimum 1 robot. But we realized that the Leo bots will not be competitive in that tender. So we created a robot in June of 2021. And first article of production line was in February of 2022. It was a crazy job, but we did it 8 months. All right, so it was painful, but it was good. Because this, if you notice, why is it rectangular and not curvaceous? It's because now we design around the engineering. It's much easier to build this, all right? And the cleaning mechanisms we could fit in because we designed the cleaning mechanism, then we fit a body on it, all right? So we learn our lessons. And till October, 1,200 units. And by the end of the year, it will be 1,005. So finally, we found a bestseller, at least for our scale, it's a bestseller for us. And we're very, very thankful. Now, some stories of how did we grow, okay? I mean, it is just a very light-hearted sharing, come on. I mean, just for, to share with the community. Okay, one thing I will call it was risk management. Big thing, risk management. A lot of times, we didn't know what we didn't know. Seriously, we didn't know what is scalable, how to make it scalable, what do customers want. We just think we know. And being a bunch of very young startup, you know, we thought we knew lah. So as I mentioned, V1 was speed to market. We had to have something out there, and not like, come on, we are feeding everybody, we have no product in the market. That's a disaster, right? Then V2, when we started getting orders from overseas, that's when we started getting worried. Would this machine survive in Norway? Okay, so we instantly did an upgrade to ruggedize it, to make it the toughest machine we could build. Then we realized that V2 took forever to build. It's too tough. So we came out with V3, something that balances out ruggedized mass production that we can go to market. So one day, 2 robots. Okay, so if I, on reflection, if instantly we jump into V3, I don't think we would have been able to build a V3 because we had no idea the problems of V1 and V2. We had to go through the whole process. And if we had waited 3 years for V3 to come out, maybe it would have at best been a V1.5, and then we'll still have to redesign the thing in that sense. Another thing was looks matter. Okay, so for us, every robot a work of art, because all these robots are seen in the public space, and we wanted our users and our operators to be proud of their robot. So these are their robot, their personal cleaning assistants for all the cleaners out there. And all of our robots are quite funky. They make nice, cutesy eyes, and they can even have cat calls, right? So another thing we did was a wide range of different robots. So after the Leo bots, we realized, okay, very cool. Oops, so sorry. Very cool, but okay, we still needed big. All right, very cool. We needed small. So we came up with more form factors so that we can meet the market needs in that sense. All right. And we are a small tech startup, so we realized that we couldn't touch too many like tech stacks. So we only had floor cleaning robots. We didn't do window cleaning or staircase cleaning and all that because that is totally different, and we needed to devote resources of another team. So with the same tech stack on floor cleaning, we could keep doing incremental positive improvements. So after 3 years, 4 years, it became marinated and it became ready to eat. Okay, and also we focus on ecosystem from day one, such that we realized that our goal was to have tens of thousands of robots. So how do all these feed the information? How do different types of robots feed the information into our ecosystem so that our customers can do fleet management, fleet reviews, fleet control in that sense? The dealer network helped us a lot also. So it's a good and bad thing, all right? So it's like, getting married. Sometimes you're happy, some days you're not so happy, all right? So the dealer network helped us to span many countries, all right? So it was cool, Now we have 28 countries. But then not all dealers are as committed as you are. All right. For us, Lionsbot is life and death. All right. It's our only thing. For them, it's one of many products they sell. So there are different levels of commitment and pushing of robots. Some are really on the program. Some are just a bit relaxed in that sense. Okay. Now, I would like to share 3 lessons that we learned that were quite funny in retrospect. The fact that we're still alive, these are funny lessons. All right. If we are dead, then it is I told you so lessons. All right. So valleys of death, traps, and naive thinking. All right, naive thinking came from my part. I thought it was a very easy venture, so I jumped in. Okay, so first, valleys of death. So the inventory for the first 100, as I explained, that was the first valley of death. All right, I mean, it may seem like, okay, it's only 100 robots, but if you look at when you only have R&D funds for like 15 people, 100 robots is a moonshot, man. If you got that wrong, you have died. All right, but I wouldn't say we got that right, but somehow we pulled through. Second was also scaling. Now, it's so interesting. Right now, for Lionsbot, we're doing about 150 R3s a month. But it sounds fun, right? 150. What does that mean? Okay, that means a lot of things that we came to realize. It means that to do 150, you need 150 in your factory worth of parts. You need 150 in your warehouse, and you need 150 shipping on the way. You need 450. And that's assuming if you get paid. So if you don't get paid and you give 30 days credit terms, now you need 600 robots to sustain 150 sales a month. All right. All well and good if you don't change any part. If there's a feedback and you need to change a part, that 450 parts just became wasted. All right. So it became a very, it became, the reality strikes and bites that, oh, this becomes very serious. Okay. And then on top of that, production consistency. Production consistency is one of those things that, sure, why don't we produce? Why don't we QC it better? Why don't we make it better? Wow. Now I realize why there's a whole study behind production consistency. Because just to make the product consistent, the production consistency means that it's okay to have problems, but you must have consistent problems across your product range. Right? But sometimes you have weird things. Maybe it produced in the factory was okay, by the time it reached Norway, something happened. All right? And then different things happen when it gets to Norway and Australia and all that. Then you start gathering the feedback. And maybe sometimes it takes 2 months before the ship arrives. So that was batch A. But now you're facing batch B problems and all that. So getting to consistency was a very big part. And it brought to mind that as a startup, our skill sets we need to level up towards production and scaling and stuff. Okay, now naive thinking. So my friends, when I told them initially I'm going to start a hardware startup doing robots, every one of them were telling me, are you crazy? Okay, it's going to cost you a lot of money. I told them, brother, don't worry. Only 5 engineers are needed. I'll write the checks. Famous last words, okay? The next time my kid is going to do a hardware startup, I'm going to tell him, are you crazy? It's going to cost you a lot of money. Because production, engineering, validation, certifications, everybody wants a piece of your money. And chunks of it, actually, it's not just a piece. So we were originally thinking 5 engineers and it's a solved problem. Autonomy is solved, everything is solved. We can use open source. No, brother, no. Okay, if you really want to make a product that can sell, you need loads of people. So today, including our part-timers and interns, we have 240 people, and it's still not enough. In 4 months' time, we'll be 400 people. All right, it is still not enough because just certifications alone, if you want to do a good job, right, you need a whole team of multidisciplinary people. Just patents alone is another whole team. All right. Okay, so we had a question at the beginning. Do we license our navigation stack? You know, do we license and use somebody's SLAM technology? Okay, again, we thought simple, right? Yeah, no problem. I mean, it's a soft thing. Why don't we just license something? So we actually paid for a license, and we tried working with it, and we realized that, hey, just because they're selling it doesn't mean they got it right. They just sold a license. So we got a license, and guess what? Okay, it's good for delivering point A to point B, but moving and cleaning and everything else is a different story altogether. So it brought home that core technology you have to develop yourself. Then what is core technology in a robot? Guess what? Every single part is a core technology. From production to wire harnessing to patents to certifications to SLAM to obstacle, but everything is core technology. So the team just explodes. It is exponential growth in the number of people we needed. Then another naive thinking was outsource production. Okay, so this was the next fun part. Everybody was asking me, so after you develop your products, how are you going to produce it? And then don't worry, okay, we're going to outsource to somebody like Flextronic, no issues. Okay, then after we created, we realized there's a slight problem with outsourcing to Flextronic. Flextronic is a great company, but they are not necessarily going to take our business because they want volume, and we need to commit to them certain amounts of volume. I can't tell them like today 3, tomorrow 4. It's like, can I have 200 at one go? All right, and 200 is a very small amount. Okay, so I need to commit 1,000. If there's a design change, I might as well hang myself. All right, it's game over for us. So we had to do it in-house because there was a lot of learning in doing it in-house. In a sense that it was what do you call that? Like example, wire harnessing. When we outsourced wire harnessing initially, we used 15 different connectors. Okay, hey, is the outsource guy doing? And the outsource guy never said no. Neither would the outsource guy tell us that, hey, outsourcing, actually use 3 connectors is better. They wouldn't change your design, they would just accept it, you just pay more. All right, they can do it, anybody can do it. But the problem is, once we took back the harnessing in-house, we realized, oh my goodness, why are we buying 15 brands of connectors? This is crazy. So we forced ourselves to change our circuit boards and our designs and connectors. Now we're using 2 brands. So it became much easier to do harnessing. So cost down only happened when we started doing it in-house, and design improvements only happened when we did our own loops internally. And then also with dealers, as I mentioned, you know, not everyone is super aligned. I mean, there are good days and there are better days, but we realized that as we need to scale up to crazy numbers, dealers may not be the best way forward. So you have to build your own direct sales team, you have to have major accounts. It became the next step. Now, some traps, okay? So because they're waiting for me for the last 3 minutes, I'll just breeze through it. Certifications was one of those things that in our industry, so there are some faster startups like us, and there are some slower companies like our competitors, but guess what? The faster startups are not on the certification advisory board. And they wrote the rules, they changed the whole game. So now we have to redesign to meet those certs, which is no problem. That's why we're going to have a big team. Another trap was, I mentioned about this, then remote service support. So COVID was fantastic, okay? COVID made us realize that, hey, you can't fly anymore. So what are you going to do? How are you going to support all these robots out there? Okay, and lastly, patents if we didn't have a patent portfolio and build up a patent portfolio, we may be blocked down the road in that sense. Okay, so let me go into ultimate trap, money. Okay, so if anyone here is thinking of starting a hardware startup making robots, right? Take whatever budget you have, let's say it's X, okay, you times 3. And then you plus another Y. It's never enough, okay? Because you always need to add more people. There's always that gorgeous engineer you need, all right? There's always the team that you need, all right? There's always something to build up on. Okay, I'd like to share with you a quick video on our team, all right? And this is the team that made it happen.
Lionsbot is a place for aspiring high-energy individuals who have true passion for robotics, design and engineering.
You'll be doing something important that will move the needle for the company. You would be having high personal growth, like what we say, 1 year at Lionsbot equals 3 years outside. You have leadership experience, so as a company grows, you get the chance to lead teams.
Almost everything I've done here, I didn't think I'd be doing it.
After the interview, I really wanted to come here because they told me that, I will get to try a lot of new things that I haven't tried before.
I've learned SolidWorks in a week, which is like a 3D modeling program. Time passes really fast.
You see someone using them and have an exciting, enjoyable experience in using something that you created, I think it's really rewarding.
So now we are giving this big step to help on the tools that they need to use to make the job better.
We believe that's the way to achieve innovation and to push the frontier.
But the future is
we can go to the center.
Which is like a
In using something that you created, I think it's really rewarding.
So now we are giving this big step to help on the tools that they need to use to make the job better.
We believe that's the way to achieve innovation and to push the frontier.
that the future is how beautiful robots can work and support people.
We are building quality. Each people here, they push us and we push them. So we work together to give something different.
The future of Lionsbot is the future of cleaning.
So I just want to share the video because this is really about the team behind it was the one who made. Can we have the next slide? No, sorry. Yeah, okay. So with everyone that comes in, they are promised a few things. Number one is to work insane number of hours. Okay, so like only if you are young and prepared to do the hard shit, right? Then you can survive. Second is the experiences that whatever they do will move the needle. So if the person is in charge of this certain software package, it's going to be implemented when we do the next upgrade to 1,200 robots. So it's really exciting. You'll see like, wow, everything goes live everywhere. All right, and experience high growth. So everyone comes in steep learning curve. All right, all the way is like 5 Gs of learning curve. All right, and then leadership opportunities because as we grow from 15 people to 30 people to 60 to 100, 200 to 500, as the team expands, everybody can become a leader, and that is something I think very cool for young engineers. So our 4 goals at Lionsbot: make awesome robots. We want to maximize everybody's potential. We hope to have a financial success to become a unicorn because all of our engineers are working crazy hours with share options. Hopefully that is worth something, all right, rather than promises. Okay, and to benefit the communities that we are in, we do coding classes, robot building, and stuff like that. Yeah, but it's just the start, man. Today it's a small little hill, and there are so many things that we do not know to come. All right, but there is many more mountains to scale, and these are just some of the highlights of our little journey so far. So thank you very much, guys.
Like this. Hi. Sorry, unfortunately due to as we are short on time, we highly encourage you to ask questions during lunch, Mr.
Okay, thank you guys. Thank you.